Hey Pepper Gang, Deadside, let's talk about it. I finally bought the game. If you're like me, this game has been recommended by friends. The Steam page pushes it on me, and naturally, it's a game that fits my genre of choice. When it dropped into early access about 2 years ago, I was pretty hyped up about it, a more accessible, faster paced DayZ type of game, but it looked barren in content, and at the time, I was busy playing it with other games. So it's been on my back burner. Other big creators have made videos on it recently, and the community around it keeps hovering around consistently 1,500, 2,000 players. So something is happening with the game, and I think it was time to dig in. My goal for this video is to give you an overview of what the game offers right now to help you decide whether it's time to try it out, or maybe you're a player who played at launch, took a break, and are thinking of coming back. As always, if you have any questions afterwards, drop them in the comments or come say hello while I'm live streaming. The link will be below. So quick overview on the game for those that aren't informed. You're a post-apocalyptic survivor on this small island with 2 save zones. The save zones have 2 traders each, a free stash for players to use like Stalker, and a fast travel point that can only be used between save zones. The fast travel points cost 3 dog tags to use each way, which you can find or get from PvP. And like DayZ, you are the creator of your adventure, and you get to choose what to do, who to kill, run with, and ideally, you want to gather the best gear possible. There's missions that vary in difficulty around the map, and they revolve killing AI. A few other random events will occur as well, like supply drops, heli crashes, and there's an in-game trader that will appear occasionally throughout the map that sells great gear. Players are able to build bases, but it's very minimal, basic, and I didn't even do it because I just kept using my free stashes and made money and had everything I needed in them. I didn't see that many bases built around the map as well. In regards to server settings, I played on Loaves Bakery, a YouTuber that mains the game and works with Tiny Build, the dev team for the game. This server was first person only. Vanilla has third person, which I do not like in survival games, so take that into account if you're gonna get the game. And it wasn't completely full, so I was able to learn the game on the server while still getting some good interactions. So within a period of 2 streams, I got a solid understanding of the game, what it offers, got a taste of PvP, PvE, and a bit more. Now let's cover the pros of my experience. Death is not too punishing. Unlike Tarkov or DayZ, I can respawn on any yellow point around this map, allowing me to get back into the fight quickly if I die near it. There's a timer cooldown on each spot if you die again, but the map is small enough where you can run back to your loot and fight fairly quickly. There's also so many guns and ammo to spawn that even if you spawn in naked, you can find a weapon to get back into the fight. Now, I do like the simple crafting and the minimal loot table this game has. Since the devs don't want to lean too heavy into the survival element of the game, I like that the game is sticking to its core mission of being a light version of other survival games, and having a loot table and crafting system that is too complicated, too in-depth, can ruin that simplicity and take away from the core mission of the game. Less is more sometimes. Now, speaking of simplicity, the UI is a big bonus for me. I love how clean it is. It's easy to read, look at, and understand. The looting has hotkeys to speed the process up, lots of items stacked. In my opinion, some of the best survival games have the simplest UI. Look at Rust. It works. Deadside devs seem to understand this. Once again, less is more. Now, the gunplay is wicked. I really enjoy the feel of the weapons, from pistols to shotguns to some sniper rifles. The weapons sounded badass, and I relished them at using them. No complaints here, honestly. I think this has always seemed like a drawing point for Deadside. Vets of the game that popped into my chat while I was streaming it all mentioned that gunplay was something they always enjoy in the game. Now, when it comes to AI, they can be tough. They are relentless, and they will push you aggressively, almost like a horde mechanic. They remind me a lot of Tarkov scavs, but a little tougher and a little funky at times. And the AI also vary in difficulty depending where they are on the map and what mission they are attached to. There's also random convoys of AI around the map, which makes the world feel alive like Stalker, even when you don't see players. So we covered the good, now let's cover the bad. There's a serious stuttering, rubber banding issue that I'm getting when the servers fill up. My number 1 complaint, I guess it's game-wide, when they start to fill up in population, you're susceptible to rubber banding while you move. Scum also has the same issue on high pop servers, and I find it funny that Deadside has the same issue because both are built using Unreal, so maybe the root of the problem lies there. I just know it sucks when I'm in a PvP fight and I have rubber banding and stuttering. Very frustrating to stream. Audio. It seems like this is the hardest thing to nail in FPS shooters. Around combat, I have a hard time telling if AI were on different surfaces or inside buildings, which allowed them to push me and kill me when I didn't expect it. When they're running around the woods, multiple times I would hear the ambient noise of woodland critters, but it felt like I could hear the origin of the sounds, as if there was an invisible speaker broadcasting the audio, and I could pinpoint where that invisible speaker was. Very frustrating, and the audio would come in and out at times as well. Now, when it comes to endgame content, I only played for about 10 total hours, so I didn't reach per se endgame content, but I can already see why people are sitting on this game right now. Even though it's gotten a lot of love the last 8 months since Tiny Build took over the game, but it needs more. I know more points of interest are coming next update and more survival elements, but if you're a grinder, hyper focused on one game at a time, you will definitely do everything in this game in a few hundred hours, maybe sooner, especially if you're a competent PvPer. However, if you're new like me to this game, you'll have plenty to do for now, especially if you don't binge it every day. It seems updates are rolling out often, which is why I finally decided to hop in and try it as well. Another con is the lack of survival elements, and I use that as a pro because this is a very fine line they have to balance. It's a tiny con for me. Let me explain why. Right now, only animal you can hunt are ducks for food. Food and water besides that cannot be bought. They can only be found in that AI or collected from a water collector you craft, but you need a base to make that water collector. So in general, it's a bit of a hassle to get food and water. Even though Deadside is not trying to lean too heavy into the survival elements and want to keep it more casual, I would like to see more animals just to hunt and maybe roam the landscape to make the world feel more alive. I would also love to see some dynamic weather changes such as rain or fog to mix up the environment. If you're a heavy crafter, builder, loot hoarder in survival games, Deadside is not going to give you this experience. You want to PvP quickly while still enjoying some of those aspects, and Deadside might scratch that itch just right, just enough without you needing to commit too much time to a game. I like to be fair and evaluate the game properly, so I'm not going to bash it to the ground, but I'm also not going to praise it through the roof. To me, Deadside is just a perfect example of a survival game in early access. See, I've noticed these type of games are some of the longest to develop properly and to succeed. Rust came out in 2013 and didn't hit some of its best numbers until a good 7 years later. Project Zomboid took about a decade to hit its peak in player base. DayZ went through some rough periods to the point where people thought the game was dying, but it's hit a massive resurgence the last couple years and it's in a much better state. Scum is about to get its most important update since release, and it's about to hit 5 years in development. You see my point? The fact that Deadside has maintained a core community for 2 years seems to have put up with the worst, and in my opinion, it has begun turning that corner in 2022, and 2023 seems really promising for this game. If they keep this momentum going, keep adding solid updates, those gamers will come. For me personally, I'll continue to dabble in it. I'm not gonna be grinding it heavy right now. I got to see what I wanted, and for a $15 game I got on sale, not a bad deal at all. This is one of those games I'll continue to revisit because I like what they're striving to be. Development continues to trend positive for Deadside. It can become the casual survival game that doesn't require hours on end to enjoy. This game seems like it's meant for the working adult, the dad, the mom gamer that love this genre but can't commit. I want Deadside to succeed because it certainly fits a niche and it's hard to casualize survival games. Survival games fans relish at the complexity these games bring when it comes to crafting, looting, and all the survival systems, but this game barely scratches that side of things. But that's not a bad thing. If I want a meaty Wagyu steak with all the fat in it, I'll hop on DayZ or Rust. But if I want a lighter meal that night, but still want my steak, I'll take a small filet mignon, which is what Deadside can be. I hope you guys picked up what I put down, enjoyed my analysis of Deadside as a new player, 2022. I hope you get an insight into the current state of the game. Thank you again for watching. Consider checking out some of my survival game content on the channel, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.